And we are live. This is UFC Bro Picks. We're gonna be going over UFC Lee versus Barboza. This is Ricky.
What's up, guys? This is Justin. We were gonna originally start at 4 o'clock, but we're both ready to go. So before we talk about the Atlantic City card, we'll talk about the Glendale card. And what a main event, dude! I mean, every time you see Justin Gaethje fight, it's a good fight. And Dustin Poirier the same. It was a straight up war, and I'm happy that I cashed on Dustin Poirier. And what about you? What do you think about the main event?
Yeah, man. It was a good fight. The two fights that stand out to me were the main event, of course, and the Cowboy fight. Um, the main event, though, I gotta. I don't. Justin Gaethje's fun to watch, but I don't know how much like how long his career is gonna be, or how like he's obviously not very smart, taking a lot of unnecessary damage. I thought he was gonna make some adjustments from his last fight, but obviously not. And he's getting close to being on that fade list, especially against like the top competitors. He's just not a smart fighter. He's pretty basic, walks straight line, hands up, and leg kicks. Strategy beats him. So I don't know. And then Oliveira, man, he did good too, but I don't know, man. Condit had his moments, dude. He got the good sweep in the end of the first round. He started doing good in the second round. Oliveira got that up kick and turned it around from there. But not gonna lie, bro, I was sweating until that up kick. So luckily he got the finish, but he's definitely someone I'm gonna reconsider betting on for sure, especially against the high level guys. It was more of a fade on Condit, but yeah, man, it was a good fight card, and I'm ready for this weekend.
Yeah, man. Let's talk about our plays real quick. So I barely edged out the win. I thought I was gonna have a bad night, and thanks to Dustin, I had a winning night plus 1.07. I also cashed on Mueller. She went out there and looked decent. Got the decision. Tim Bosch, it was a bad bet. I wasn't really that high on Antonio Carlos Jr., but the dude just keeps on winning, man, impressively. So sooner or later I gotta stop fading him. Vittori, I mean, I bet on him, but I mean, there's no way he won that fight. He's saying on Twitter he won that fight. He lost the first 2 rounds for sure. And Salbet is impressive, dude. I mean, dude, his striking's legit. And I mean, Vittori took him down, got on top of him, but I mean, he got right back up. But the main event, though, let's talk about that for a minute. I actually think Gaethje is a fade, dude, against a lot of guys.
Yeah,
I think most guys in the top 15 can beat him. I think Lando could beat him. I think Tamer could beat him. I think Carlos Diego Ferreira can beat him. There's a lot. I mean, I'm gonna be fading Gaethje, in the future. I mean, not if he fights like Paul Felder, because if he fights Paul Felder, that's a pass because Paul Felder sucks. But yeah, man, Gaethje's just style. I mean, he's just a walking punching bag, and yeah, he definitely hurt Dustin with his leg kicks, but Dustin looked good. Is Justin's chin held up in that fight? I mean, I'm happy, man. Like he didn't even get wobbled, I don't think, one time. But props to Dustin, dude. He keeps on winning, and he's gonna get a big fight, dude. He's probably gonna fight Tony Ferguson. I mean, the more I think about it, dude, I mean, he's actually has a good chance to beat Tony Ferguson. Ferguson's getting older, and that surgery. I mean, he's not gonna come back. He's gonna come back probably like a year later, and he didn't even look that good against Kevin Lee. Let's be honest. I mean, he got a sub, which is pretty nice. But before that, we'll be talking about Kevin Lee later. But before that, Kevin Lee was, looking pretty good. And I still want to see Tony versus Khabib in the future, but we'll talk about that another time. Let's talk about your plays real quick before we get into Atlantic City.
yeah. So I just had one play. I wasn't feeling too confident about the card in general. I picked Oliveira straight, 3 units to win 1.5. That cashed. So yeah, man, I should have tailed you on that Dustin Poirier bet because I mean, that fight wasn't going to the distance, and I definitely had Dustin Poirier getting the finish. I thought that was a good bet on your part.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, man. But as to what you were saying, dude, yeah, Justin Gaethje's a fade. Dustin Poirier's looking really good. I think that if Khabib doesn't make a fight with Conor anytime soon, I think Dustin Poirier's getting the call, man. So
I think Dustin's live, dude. I mean, dude, it's gonna be hard for Khabib to. I feel like I don't know. I mean, we haven't really seen Dustin's grappling that much besides the Pettis fight, but I mean, he's a good wrestler. I mean, I don't know. It's a lot of question marks. I mean, I want to see that fight because Dustin has the striking advantage in my opinion for sure.
It's gonna be a good fight.
Good fight. Okay, man. So let's talk about Atlantic City. We got a great card, and this is the last card, man, for 3 weeks. So we gotta, we gotta take advantage of that, and cash our bets. So the first fight of the night, we got Tony Martin versus Keita Nakamura. This is a weird fight. Tony Martin's making his debut at 170. Against a very good guy. I mean, Nakamura is definitely no slouch. He's definitely not a jobber. He has some good wins. He's definitely one of the best grapplers in the division. Very good jiu-jitsu, and that's what gives Tony Martin problems. I mean, Tony Martin, like he has like 3 or 4 losses by sub. He gasses. Maybe he won't gas at 170, but I don't think I'm ready to, pick Tony Martin. Or I'm not. I've never been really high on him to begin with. I mean, he is athletic. He is a decent striker, but I faded him versus OM for a reason. And yeah, he took OM's back in the 3rd round. I was, pretty nervous. But he didn't do anything with OM, so won the fight. And with Nakamura, I think he's gonna, like you said, he's Tony Martin might be more technical on the feet, but I mean, it's not like Nakamura like sucks on the feet. His striking is like decent, but I mean, I think sooner or later he's gonna get him to the ground and tap him out. So I got Nakamura by a sub, but I'm not confident in playing it. But I do think that he's gonna win. So yeah, I got Nakamura. What about you?
Yeah, I definitely agree with you on this one. I've been looking into this fight so far, just haven't pulled the trigger yet. I do like Kitara. I do think the line's off. It should be more of a 50-50, in my opinion, because Martin's got the striking advantage, athleticism, but Kitara's got the grappling advantage, and he's more of a 170. He's been fighting at the welter. Like, we know what we're going to see at 170. So I don't know. I think his grappling can pose some problems to Tony Martin. It just depends on, is he willing to use it? He had some moments against Morano, but he did strike 2 of those 3 rounds. So we'll see what happens. Martin's is proving his game, but I don't know if it's going to be enough time. You said you mentioned he trains at ATT now, which is great. But I mean, what about before? I don't know if it's going to be enough time. Like, it does take some time to break out of those bad habits, that you might get at these smaller gyms. I mean, when he got choked out by Benil Dariush, it was kind of pretty bad. He held on to a guillotine choke until Dariush just got that arm triangle. So he just makes some mistakes and some bad habits that I don't know if it's gonna be enough time for him to get rid of yet. So yeah, Kitara is definitely live. I think it should be more of a coin flip, and I got him for the win just because he's a 170er and he's got the grappling. So next fight, we got Ricky Simon versus Merab Davlashli. To be honest, I haven't done much research on this fight yet, but I'm gonna probably have to be going with Merab on this one just because I think he's got the better cat behind him. I think he's training with the Ray Longo, Matt Serra, all those guys. So I'm going to be going with Merab. What about you?
Yeah, this is a good fight. I'm not going to have to, go the other way. I think Ricky Simon's going to get the win. It's going to be a close fight. I'm not going to be betting him or, probably having on DraftKings, but I do think Ricky Simon's going to win the close decisions. Kid's legit. I mean, I think he has 1 loss. He looked good at Contender Series. He won his last fight by a finish. Definitely, Merab has the better camp. I'm pretty sure that Simon trains with like Paige Van Zandt and like, the people in Oregon. But still, though, I do think that he's, a good grappler, good striking. He looks better every fight. And Merab, he looked, pretty good last fight. He lost against Ricky Saenz. I think he took him down like 20 times. And I do think he won the fight, but I don't think he looked impressive. So I think Ricky Simon's going to beat him on the feet and beat him on the ground, take him down. So I got Ricky Simon by decision, but I'm not confident. Next fight, we got Leslie Smith versus Aspen Ladd. I was actually thinking about, playing this fight, but I'm going to pass. But I do think Leslie Smith's going to get the win. I think she's the bigger girl. I think she has the better striking. Aspen Ladd, she's a good grappler, but I don't think she's that impressive. I mean, her striking is terrible. If you watched her fight against Selena Landsberg last fight, her striking looked atrocious. And Leslie Smith's been looking pretty good lately, man. I mean, her striking is really good. She trained with the Diaz bros, Gilbert Melendez. And I know Cyborg knocked her out, but ever since that, dude, she's been looking pretty impressive. And her striking is no joke, dude. So I think she's going to get the win here, man. I think she's going to go out there and, just keep it on the feet, because if he gets taken down, I'll be worried, because Aspen Ladd is a good grappler. But, I mean, I don't think she's like a Tatiana Suarez grappler. She's good, but she's not like a legit. And I just think Wesley Smith's, the veteran. I think she's, going to be able to keep it on the feet and win probably like a 30-27. What about you?
Yeah, I agree with you too. I just don't. I think the competition Aspen Ladd has been fighting has been pretty bad. That's why she's undefeated. It's going to be a lot different now in the UFC against some legit competition. So I'm going to have to go with Leslie Smith as well. All right, next fight. We got Patrick the Bum Cummings versus Corey Anderson. I'm gonna have to go with Corey Anderson. To me, they both have shitty chins. He's the younger version of him. He's a more athletic version of him, and he's probably the faster version of him. Maybe more explosive and powerful. I really don't know what Cummings has on Anderson. Maybe he has a better technical striking. But dude, honestly, both of these guys, I don't think this is. I think this fight's gonna be a pretty boring fight. I'm gonna have to go with Corey Anderson to get the win, man. Both by decision. I think he's gonna out wrestle him, unless Corey Cummings can outstrike him. But I don't know, man. I can see a boring fight, so I'm gonna have to go with Anderson.
Yeah, man. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm actually like really excited about the fight. This is definitely, in my opinion, one of the most exciting fights tonight. I actually have a play in it. I have 3 units. This fight doesn't go the distance. Initially, I was going to bet Cummings here. I am picking Cummings. I do think that Corey Anderson's the better fighter, but that chin is just so bad. I mean, Pat Cummings has a bad chin too, but I do think he's more durable. I do think he has more heart. And Corey Anderson's been finished his last 2 fights. I mean, Cummings is on a 2-fight winning streak, and he looked pretty good, man, against Jan and John in the second, third round. I mean, he lost the first round, he got dropped, he got hurt, and then he came back and beat them on the feet. And I do think that, like I mentioned, Corey's, the better fighter, but I do think that Cummings is going to cause problems for him on the feet. Anderson, he's faster, he's more athletic, he has good striking, but actually he's decent striking. But Cummings, he's pretty technical on the feet, dude. He throws bombs. I just think Corey Anderson's chin is shot, and I think their both chins are terrible. That's why I'm playing this fight. And I don't know how it was plus 155. And a lot of people think this is going to be a boring decision, but I think, Cummings is either going to knock him out, Corey's going to knock him out. And 15 minutes for these guys, a lot of people think they're going to be like humping each other and like grappling. Like both these guys are very good grapplers, like 2 of the best grapplers in the division. It's going to be contested on the feet. And when those chins are getting like hit, I feel like it's one of them's going to go to sleep. So I'm pretty confident in this bet. I actually think it hits. I won't be surprised if it hits in the first round. If it hits in the third round, I'll be happy. But these guys are just so bad, man. And I think Cummings has a better grappling too, actually. And like I mentioned, Corey's the better fighter, but Cummings is more durable, more heart, and I think he has the better chin. So I got Cummings by a second round knockout, and he's gonna shock some people. And Cummings, he's beaten Antonio Carlos Jr. He's beaten Jan Blachowicz. He has some pretty decent wins, dude. And the guys that knock him out, have way more power than Corey Anderson. Glover Teixeira has power, Little Nog has power, OSP has power. You saw the OSP fight with Corey Anderson. OSP knocked him out with a head kick, and Corey Anderson blocked it. So, that chin is terrible, dude. Like, legit terrible. So, I think Corey Anderson's...
Just because you block a freaking head... Just because you put your hand on top of a head kick doesn't mean you're blocking it. Like, you're still going to impact, dude. It'll probably knock either of us out if we block a head kick from OSP.
Yeah, but go
ahead. These guys aren't finishers, bro. They're fucking... They most of their wins come by decision.
Yeah, but both these guys have really bad chins. And the thing is, they're not going to get the takedown. It's going to be contested on the feet. And when they're striking on the feet, their chins are going to be contested, and I'd see one of them going to sleep. And I won't be surprised if it's first round finish. But if it goes, second or third round, it's not going. There's not going to be a sub here. It's going to be a knockout. And I just don't see it going 15 minutes. I'm telling you, the way these guys, their chins are so bad. And I really think Corey Anderson has the worst chin. And I know a lot of people out there picking Corey Anderson, betting him, he is, he has a good chance to win, obviously. If he wins, he's going to get a knockout. But I'm just going with Cummings. So
I just think these bets are risky, man. Like, doesn't go the distance, especially on a 3-round fight. Like maybe 5-round fight. Like inside the distance bets are nice, but it's square, bro.
I haven't played.
I just like it though because it is plus money, or else I would be giving you shit. But I
haven't played one of these bets in a while, but when I saw this and I saw this line, battle of the two chiniest guys in the division. I mean, I really think that it's actually a pretty good bet, and we'll see what happens, man. But I'm super confident this bet's gonna get a cash, and I don't care who. I don't care who, but I mean, I'm picking Pat Cummings to win, so obviously I hope it's Pat Cummings, and I like Pat Cummings. Corey Anderson's kind of a dick, so I got Pat Cummings.
All right, good luck, man. I want you to cash too. I'm just
Thanks,
kind of busting your balls a little bit.
It's all good. If it catches in the first round, I'm gonna be screaming at you. So next fight, we got Siyar Barza Dada, whatever. It's a pretty hard last name to pronounce. Versus Luan Chagas. This is a very good fight. I've been thinking about betting him. Chagas, but I already have 3 plays, 10 units risk. I will have him on DraftKings. I still haven't made my mind up yet, but I do think that Chagas is better everywhere. The thing with CR is that he's a brawler and he's not a jobber. He's a tough guy. He's been around for a long time. He hits like a truck. He won at middleweight his last fight. Now he's fighting at welterweight. Who knows if he can make the weight? He does have a dad bod, but Chagas he gasses. He fought Eric Silva. Didn't have the best fight IQ. Eric Silva tapped him out in the 3rd round, but I don't think that this fight is going to hit the mat. I don't think Siyar is going to take him down, and I think if it hits the mat, Chagas will have an advantage. Chagas has pretty good jiu-jitsu. I think he's more technical on the feet. I think he has more power, and he has a very good chin. I really think that he's just going to be too fast for Siyar, and I think Siyar is slow. So I got Chagas by a knockout, and I know that's a pretty bold statement because Siyar's never even been knocked out before, but I don't think he has. Yeah, he hasn't. But yeah, I got Chagas. I think he's just too technical and too much faster than him, man. His striking's good, man. And he's only 23 years old, dude. So, I mean, the Eric Silva fight, yeah, he got subbed, but, I think he's grown. He looked very good last fight. And his first fight in UFC, he went to draw with Sergio Moraes. Sergio Moraes just beat Tim Mean. So, I think Chagas is, no slouch, and he's going to get a win here. What about you?
Yeah, man, I'm going to agree with you, too. After doing the tape, I like Chagas a lot. Siyar is a brawler, like you said. He's got some miles on him too, man. He's not that old. He's like 34. I guess it's creeping up on him. But yeah, man, I just think Chagas is a more technical guy. What is it? Siyar's dropping down in weight too, right?
Yeah.
I think he's going to fight in 170, so it's interesting how he's going to do there, man. Could be a desperate move just to look, just to feel bigger or something. I don't know.
He's fought at welterweight before. Most of his fights are at welterweight.
He did look kind of chubby at 185, so we'll see how he looks at 170. But like you said, Chagas is a new up and coming fighter. He's looking better every time. His fight IQ was questionable against Eric Silva. He had him mounted, and he flopped on his back for an armbar. He could have, in my opinion, he probably could have got the finish if he would have stayed on top and went for the ground and pound, man. But yeah, there's a point where he went for an armbar. Eric Silva got out, and it was just a kind of sloppy brawl afterwards because they were both kind of gassed. They both got dropped a lot, so that's kind of what's kind of preventing me from just kind of keeping an eye on Chagas right now. I want to see how he does against this. This is going to be a real test for him. So I got Chagas though, but gonna sit back and enjoy. Probably have him on DraftKings though, because he is a good play for a decent price, and a heavy hitter too, so it might rack up some points. Next fight, man. We got Magomed Bibulatov versus Yuta Sasaki. Magomed Bibulatov burned me and a lot of other people. I think he was like a -600 or something like that against. Was it John Moraga or something like that, and got knocked out like pretty embarrassingly. I was so like, I think that's what made a lot of people stay away from like parlays in general, just from that loss. Like, I think people had nightmares from that as people still recuperating. He's fighting Yuta Sasaki, who, in my opinion, he's one of the biggest. He's an underdog that's known for cashing pretty well. I'm kind of upset we didn't bet on him against Justin Scoggins. We both picked him to win. Yeah, he was able to get the submission on him. He got choked out against Siyar Formiga though pretty easily. Yeah, Siyar Formiga is one of the best grapplers in the division. So I don't know if I can say the same about Magomed, but if Magomed keeps it standing, I think he can get the win. But it hits the mat, man. Suzuka finds a way to get the back. So I'm gonna go with Sasaki to get the upset, just because I don't know, man. We'll see what's up with Magomed. Kind of burned me last fight, and he might drop the ball again. So who you got?
Yeah, man, I agree with you, dude. I don't trust Magomed here, and he's a pretty big favorite. I'm not playing Sasaki though because I do think that Magomed could take him down, and it could be a close fight. But on the feet, I do think that Sasaki's the better striker. He has good striking, good volume, and he's super big for the division, dude. And it might surprise a lot of people that we're both picking him because he's definitely one of the biggest dogs of the card. But I just don't trust Magomed after last fight, too. I mean, dude, Moraga just do that. I mean, he destroyed him, dude. And I mean, I wouldn't. It's just so many people out there playing Magomed. I don't see it, dude. I mean, he just looked like dog shit last fight, and then now you're gonna. I mean, now you're gonna bet him huge against no slouch and Sasaki, dude. I mean, this isn't for me against Sasaki. This is Magomed. I mean, yeah, Magomed looked really good, outside the UFC, but now he's fighting in the UFC, and he already got smoked his first fight. So we'll see how he looks. But yeah, I got Sasaki. I think he's gonna keep it on the feet. And his the mat, it's gonna be, it's gonna be a cool fight on the mat. It's gonna be super interesting. I mean, who knows, dude? Sasaki could, reverse him, choke him out. So Sasaki has a good guillotine, dude. I mean, he has a lot of wins by sub. I mean, he's beating Teruto. He's beating some big guys, dude.
Hey, let me say something too. He's training in USA now too. He's training with who are those guys? Matt Serra, Ray Longo, that whole squad. So.
Cool.
They have some. I mean, I think I wouldn't be surprised to see him even better this time, man. He, like you said, he's very long for the division, so it's even like his chokes are going to be there, man. I wouldn't be surprised if he finds that neck.
Yeah, I don't know why we're not playing him, to be honest. I mean, the thing is, I'm not confident.
He's not confident in the guy, right?
I'm not confident in the guy. But I'm not confident in Magomed either.
Me either.
And when you have those kind of, like when you have those thoughts, you got to go with the dog. So, I got Sasaki, and I think he has, that striking edge for sure. So, yeah, I got Sasaki. Next fight, we have another very close fight. We got Ryan Laflare versus Alex Garcia. Cowboy Oliveira smoked him with that knockout. We haven't seen him since that fight. And let's be honest, Laflare, he's a good grappler, but his striking's terrible. I think he's slow. I don't think he's good on the feet at all. He's a very boring fighter. And Alex Garcia is a good grappler too. And I don't think Laflare is going to be able to take him down. So I think this fight's going to be contested on the feet. Garcia looked good last fight. He proved me wrong against that Russian guy that just fought. The King of Kung Fu, the guy who just fought this weekend. I forget what his name is. Help me out. Do you know what I'm talking about?
King of Kung Fu?
He's some Russian dude that just fought.
He got the knockout, right?
Yes. What is his name? What is his name? It's like on the top. Oh, I forget his name. But anyways,
it's a Russian name, dude.
I max bet that dude with Kelvin, and dude, it was one of the worst bets. Muslim Sakalov, that's what it is.
Muslim, yeah.
But anyways, I mean, Garcia looked really good in that fight. The thing with Garcia is, he's a good grappler. He's huge for the division. His striking's, improved, but he gasses, man, and that's what I'm worried about here. But I'm gonna pick him to win, dude. I think that this fight's gonna be contested on the feet, and I think he's gonna knock out Ryan Laflare, man. And the thing is, like I mentioned, they're both very good grapplers, and I just don't think one guy's gonna have the edge. And I think it's gonna be contested on the feet, kind of like Cummings versus your boy Corey Anderson. So yeah, I definitely got Alex Garcia to get the upset, but I'm not confident in playing it. What about you?
Yeah, man, I agree. I'm with you too. I was actually looking into Garcia. I thought he was a live underdog. This is a dog or pass situation. I just don't trust him enough to be betting here. Maybe looking for other spots right now. But yeah, I got Garcia right now. I definitely think he's alive. That knockout that Cowboy got on the flare was pretty scary. It could be. Let's see how he comes back from that. Next fight, we got Jim Miller versus Dan Hooker. Jim Miller's on everybody's fade list, and you can tell by his line, he's like a plus 300. Daniel Hooker is like a minus 360 last time I checked, so it's not very playable. He got a sub against, and he's looking very good too. So I mean, it's very understandable. You got that sub over Diakis that I didn't see coming. I thought Diakis was going to win that fight, And I think he changed Rob Pearson's life with that KO highlight reel for sure. A highlight reel KO for him. That's good for him. So Jim Miller's on his way out. Like everybody knows. So I'm going with Dan Hooker. What about you?
Me too. Yeah, I was looking to play Dan Hooker here, but I mean the line is terrible. I mean he opened like minus 250 or something like that. I can't play that. And he was definitely one of my most confident picks tonight. Yeah, dude, Hooker's legit, dude. He's looked very good at 155. He knocked out Ross Pearson. Up until the knockout, it was pretty good fight, but I mean he landed that devastating knee, and then he against Dikasi. I mean I watched the fight the other day. I mean it was a very close fight, and then Mark went for that takedown, and got choked out. And I'm actually I'm kind of impressed with Mark. But, I mean, the fact that Hooker, finished him, we both picked Mark in that fight. So, I mean, that was pretty impressive. And Hooker's, he's big for the division. He trains with Stylebender. They're like best friends, main training partners. So, obviously, he's striking legit. He has a very good guillotine. And Jim Miller's done. I mean, I think Jim Miller is better than Joe Lozon, obviously. But, I mean, he is done. He has that Lyme disease. He's still taking medication. The thing is, though, like, with these odds, I do think Jim Miller has a chance. Like, I mean, I'm not gonna make fun of you guys for betting Jim Miller. Jim Miller, I mean, he's on a 3-5 losing streak. This is his last chance, and I mean, I think he has a chance to win, to make it ugly, because he did look decent against Dustin Poirier with those leg kicks, but he didn't look that good against Ronaldo. Except he won a round against Ronaldo last fight. He did. He won a round. So I mean, he could make it a close fight, man. I mean, but the thing is, I think Hooker's gonna win, and I think Hooker's gonna finish Jim Miller. So. I got Hooker, and I think he's going to choke him out with his nasty guillotine. So next fight, we got a very good fight. We got Aljamain Sterling versus Brett Johns. And I have my second play of the night. I got 4 units on Brett Johns at minus 120. And I think Aljo, should be taking a lot of time off. I think he should be taking a year off. That was a devastating knockout that I didn't really see coming. I thought, Magic was going to win, but I didn't think he was going to knock him out. And, the thing with Aljo is he hasn't, I mean, who is he beaten? I mean, the thing is, he's beaten, Augusto Mendez, who dropped him like 3 times. And, I don't know, man, just the thing, he has, decent volume on the feet, but I don't think he's a good striker. And, he has decent grappling, but I think Brett Johns is better everywhere. Brett Johns, obviously the Cass Weiser fight was legit, with Joe Soto. But if you watch his 3 fights progress in the UFC, he looks better every fight. And, he has very good pressure, very good striking. His striking didn't look that good against Quack in his debut, but his striking looked, better, since then. And I think he's the better grappler. A lot of people are saying he's the Welsh Khabib. And I agree, man. He's one of the best grapplers in the division. He's undefeated for a reason. And he's going to I think he's going to knock out Aljo. I think he's going to be too much. And, we're going to see him, use that striking here. And, let's be honest, dude, Aljo's striking is not that good. He has good volume like Elias, but, I mean, he has no power. He freezes when he gets hit. I mean, he's been dropped in multiple fights, dude. I mean,
did you say like Elias?
He has volume like Elias, but I don't think it's, I don't think it's going to play in a factor here. Like, I'm obviously I have a huge.
Are you saying Elias has good striking?
No, I said he has good volume like Elias.
Okay.
I didn't say he has. Bro, okay. Come on.
All right.
Anyways, I said he has good volume like Elias, not good striking. But I just think Johns. Come on, dude. I think Johns is better everywhere. I have a bet on Johns. Obviously, I'm not going to be, Aljo is so good. But yeah, I was impressed with Aljo, man, when he first came out. But he just really hasn't, gotten better. I mean, he's kind of just, he beat Barao. Wow. I mean, I'm pretty sure anyone can beat Barao in the division. He'd even beat Barao impressively. I mean, that was even an impressive fight, dude. So I honestly think.
How is it that you find a way to mention Elias every time?
Not every fight, but I was just thinking about Aljo's
thinking about him.
No, I was thinking about Aljo's volume, and I'm Elias. He has volume.
Yeah, he has good volume. Good. He has those little sissy leg kicks like Elias. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, he does. But yeah, dude, I just think John's on a different level, man. And John's gonna make a statement here, and I think that pressure is gonna be too much. He's better in the striking. He's a better grappler. And is going to win this fight, dude. So I'm pretty confident in Brett Johns, and I got Brett Johns. And let's do it. What about you?
You already know this, man. Crazy though. Brett Johns opened up at minus 140. He went to minus 170. The line was moving like crazy. I should have waited. I got Brett Johns as well. I got. I'm pretty confident in him as well. I don't see much that Aljo is better than him in. He's got ever since Brett Johns has been fighting, he's looked better and better every time. Like you said, his striking didn't look that good in his first fight, but then when he fought Joe Soto, man, he looked like a good boxer. He was pressuring him, he was boxing him up. That he made Joe Soto shoot for a takedown, and then that's what ended up in him getting the calf slicer. So I mean, I'll just got to be worried to take this on the mat because, in my opinion, he's got way better submissions than Khabib. He's got better submissions than Aljo as well. I don't know about the takedowns, but Brett Johns has good boxing and he's got really good submission and grappling. I think he's better everywhere, man. Like you said, Barao only beats people that are like not that good, dude. And Aljo only beats people that are not that good. He beat Barao on his way out. There's no way he would have beat a Barao in his prime. And to be honest, that fight was competitive. You saw what happened when he fought Moraes, like a true contender in that weight class, and in my opinion, Brett Johns is also a true contender in the weight class, and he's going to show everyone, and he's going to shock people. Everyone's on Aljo, man. People are saying, and like, I don't get why people are saying like, oh, everyone's betting Brett Johns. Like, if you look at the line movement, obviously everyone's betting Aljo, and I don't see it. And it makes me feel even better about my bet because fade the public. I think what happens is people see that Aljo beat Barao and they're getting all impressed about it, and it looks good on paper. But if you watch the tape, I think Brett Johns has him beat. So I put my bet on him at unfortunately at -140. So I think I got like 4.2 units to win 3. So let's go, man. Team Bro picks Brett Johns.
Yeah, one thing I want to mention is that John does the better cardio too, dude. Aljo gasses in a lot of his fights. He gassed against Caraway. That's how he lost, So he has all that muscle, dude. I mean, Aljo's, he's built like a freaking bodybuilder.
Yeah.
I don't think his cardio is that good. And you saw John's. I mean, his cardio and the first two fights against Morales and Quack. I mean, he's taking him down at will. His cardio looks good.
High pace.
Yeah, dude, he showed so much, like, that fight with Quack. I mean, dude, like, it was a war in that third round. He took some big shots, and he just kept on going forward, dude. So, can Aljo take big shots? I don't think so, dude. So I think Aljo's, going to get knocked out here. And another thing, too, Aljo, went to a split with Santos. That wasn't a split. If you watch that fight, Santos won that fight. So that was a robbery. I mean, even though, Aljo, lost the fight, that was, definitely not a split. I don't know how he got a split. So, all right, Team Johns, call the next one.
All right, next fight, we got Dave Branch versus Thiago Santos. And this is definitely a fight to look out for. Santos is a fucking killer. He's looking better ever since he lost to Spicely. I don't know if that woke him up or not, but that did show some holes in his grappling. He got taken down by Elias too, who's a scrub, And
okay.
I'm just kidding, bro. And but I mean, he got mounted by Anthony Smith as well. Full mounted, dude. If that was if that he looked like he was in trouble there. If that was anyone else, he would have been. But I mean, ever since then, he's got KOs over KOs over KOs. These guys aren't no slouches. I mean, Anthony Smith is good. Jack Hermanson is good, and so is GM3, man. So, so is Jack Marshman. So I'm giving him credit for all these KOs. They are no slouches. However, Dave Branch is going to test him, bro, because his grappling is good too. He's a legit black belt, and trains under Renzo Gracie. So, yeah, he did get subbed by Rockhold to strikes, but I mean, that's Rockhold. I think he's one of the best in the division. He's top 2, top 3. So I don't blame him for tapping the strikes there either, because I don't know, man. If you have Rockhold on top of you and you feel like you can't move and he's just pounding your face in and you feel like you're going to go out, might as well, bro. So I don't blame him for that. I do think he's live with his grappling, but I wouldn't be surprised if Santos knocks him out, man, because he's looking like a killer. So I got Santos, but it's a pass because I do think Branch is live. So I don't blame anyone betting him. What do you got?
Yeah, man, I got Santos too. I think he has the better striking, obviously. But I will admit, dude, that Branch is definitely live, and Branch's style, he's going to be pressuring him and not giving him any, distance, and that's how Santos wins his fights, his kicks. His hands are decent, but I mean, he wins with his kicks, and that Branch didn't even give Rockhold any room at all either. So I mean, if Branch, pressures him, goes with the clinch. I mean, I think Branch, those are the kind of guys that beat Santos. I mean, you saw get Masasi, Spicely, he's just not that good when it hits the mat and or was in the clinch. And I mean, Smith took him down. If this is the Santos that shows up against GM3, that post and that very good takedown defense, he's gonna win. But if he shows up how he fought Anthony Smith, getting mounted, I mean, yeah, he reversed Smith, but he still got mounted. I mean, if David Branch mounts him, it's over. I mean, Branch is going to win by either a TKO or a sub. And yeah, man, I just, I like Santos a lot. I'm really high on him, but I just can't play him at, minus 190 what it is. DraftKings, yeah, I'll be playing him on DraftKings, but I don't, I'm not going to bash you guys for betting Branch because Branch is live, and he's definitely one of the best dogs, I think, on the card. So I got Thiago Santos by a knockout, but it wouldn't surprise me if Branch used that pressure and took him down because, let's be honest, Santos is kind of a fish out of water on the mat. And, Branch, I know he tapped against. I gave him some shit for tapping against Rockhold, and I mean Rockhold. I make fun of the guy's chin so much, but the dude is one of the best top games in the division, and if he gets you down, it's all she wrote. But he didn't take down Romero because Romero's a beast. But anyway, let's talk about another fight. But yeah, man, I just think David Branch, has a very good chance to win this fight. So I got Santos by KO, but I'm not, really that confident. But DraftKings, I will be playing Santos because I think that's how he wins the fight, a knockout. So next fight, we got Chase Sherman versus Justin Willis. I'm going to keep this really short. I don't really care about this fight that much. I got Justin Willis, by a knockout. But, it's a heavyweight fight. And, Willis, he's a good prospect, dude. I do think that, he trains at DC. I think he's going to, definitely make a name for himself here because the Vanilla Gorilla, let's be honest, he's not that good. He got smoked against Shamil last fight. And I just don't think Sherman's that good, man. So I got Justin Willis by a knockout. What about you?
Yeah, for sure. I got Justin Willis. I don't buy the hype between Chase Sherman. I don't see it. He's funny on Twitter, but that's about it. And yeah, man, Justin Willis. Just because I don't think Chase Sherman is that good. Next fight, we got Frankie Edgar versus Cub Swanson, man. And I'm very concerned about this fight. Frankie is one of my favorite fighters, bro, and he just got knocked out pretty badly against Brian T. City Ortega. And if you see some of his recent interviews, like he's acting like he didn't get knocked, or like he's acting like he was still in it, And he was out, bro. And Ortega hit him good. I think he deserved some time off. If it wasn't for that, then he would for sure dominate him. But Cub Swanson might have the boxing now. If it stays on the feet, I'm gonna be worried. Cub might catch him, but I do think Frankie Edgar is gonna dominate him on the grappling. He's looking for a win to bounce back, and I don't think he's gonna mess around this time. I think he's just gonna go with his bread and butter and take him down and get the win. What about you?
Yeah, I gotta go with upset here, man. I think Cubs gonna knock him out. Another thing too is I think it's either Edgar's dad just passed away or his dad's really sick. So he has that going on right now. He has, I mean, the layoff, or I mean, geez, dude. I mean, he's taking this fight like a month notice. I mean, T City freaking dude. I mean, come on, dude. I mean, that was a devastating knockout, and he's coming back way too soon. Let's be honest, both these guys are on the way out, but I mean, I think Cub is the better striker. I know the first fight, he smoked Cub. He took him down at will. Cub taps the mat pretty easily. He has like 5 or 6 losses by sub. But I'm gonna have to go with Cub. I think he's the better striker, and I think he's gonna really connect on that chin. I think Edgar's I think they're both in the decline, but you don't, dude. I mean, you take a month off. Like, come on, dude. Even if you're going against a guy like Cub, I mean, Cub is still one of the best strikers in the division. I mean, you can't really harp on him, man. I mean, if Edgar goes out there and tries to strike with him, doesn't go for the grappling, it's going to be over. I mean, he might take Cub down, and I mean that's why I'm not betting Cub because Cub's his ground game is not that good. But I really think he's going to connect on that shin and knock him out. So I got Cub by upset, but I'm not playing him. DraftKings, I will be playing Cub. So next fight, the main event, we got Kevin Lee versus Edson Barboza. And I had my last play in the night. I got 3 units on Kevin Lee at plus 155. And I think it's a good matchup for him. I think he's going to go out there and do what Khabib did. I do think Khabib has better grappling. But, I mean, let's be honest, Kevin Lee might have the second best grappling in the division. And he's huge for the division. I hope he has a good weight cut. But let's be honest, dude. I mean, he had staph infection. He still looked good against Tony Ferguson. He did gas, but he doesn't have staph infection now. And I think his striking's improved. A lot of people say he's chinny. I mean, he's been knocked out once. Trinaldo hurt him in the feet. I mean, I don't think he's. I mean, the thing is, he doesn't have like a very good chin, but I mean, I think he knows what he has to do to win this fight. He has to pressure Barboza because when you pressure Barboza, he breaks, and you got to take Barboza down. Barboza has the. Obviously, he has the better striking, but I mean, I think Kevin Lee could actually hurt him on the feet. But let's be honest, we know what Kevin Lee's going to do. He's going to pressure him and take him down. So Edson Barboza's a fish out of water on the mat. He Cowboy dropped him and tapped him out pretty fast. You saw what Khabib did, and to be honest, I mean, this is kind of different, but I think Khabib changed Michael Johnson's life, and I think Khabib could easily change Barboza's life. So I really do think that. I mean, let's be honest. When he fought Beneil Dariush, I mean, Beneil was lighting him up, dude. I mean, Beneil was the one, taking it to him, pressuring him. And if Lee pressures him, which he's probably going to do, that's his style. I mean, he might even hurt him on the feet, dude, and drop him, tap him out. So I just don't trust Barboza here, and I really think that Lee's grappling is going to be the difference. So I got Kevin Lee, and I think he's going to take him out and or take him down and either tap him out or finish him. And in the past, I wasn't the biggest fan of Kevin Lee, but this is a bet, and I do think he's better than Edson Barboza. And now I like Kevin Lee, but I think it's a good matchup for him. So I got Kevin Lee. What about you?
Yeah, man, I like Kevin Lee too. I'm a big fan of his. He's great. I think he's probably top 3 grappler in the division. It probably goes, in my opinion, Khabib, then Tony Ferguson, and then him. Just because Ferguson was able to get the sub, I give him the better grappling. So, yeah, man, like you said it pretty well. The way you beat Barboza is you pressure and takedown. And it all depends on the types of takedowns Kevin Lee is going to do because, he's not as long as he doesn't go in like Beneil did and gets kneed in the head, I think he's going to win the fight pretty easily. As long as but it's just he just got to take a page off of Khabib's handbook. Go pressure him and maybe get those body lock takedowns. I think Kevin Lee's so strong and athletic, he's going to be able to do what he wants. I will be concerned if he tries to test his striking with Barboza because Barboza is probably the best striker in the division. Probably him and Conor McGregor can go hand for would make a really good, exciting striking match. But I'm probably gonna have to go with Kevin Lee, man. His pressure is gonna be too much. His grappling is gonna be too much, and I wouldn't be surprised if Edson quits out there. 5 rounds with Kevin Lee is just a lot. So I think that's a great bet, a good inside the distance. Smart bet. It's the main event. Those fights, 5 rounds, very likely to see a finish. Especially with Kevin Lee and his grappling. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets a sub rear naked choke. So I got Lee by rear naked choke.
Yeah, when has Kevin Lee ever tested his striking? I mean, the dude knows what he has to do. Every fight, he has so many takedowns. He's taken down everyone in the division, I think, besides one person. So
Trinaldo, I remember when he fought Trinaldo or someone like that, he got that win by head kick.
Yeah, his striking looked pretty good in that fight. He actually hurt him, and I think Trinaldo hurt him in the first round. But yeah, man, I just think Kevin Lee has a good matchup here, and Barboza's no slouch, but I just don't think his takedown defense is going to be able to. I don't think he's gonna be able to keep him on the feet here. So yeah, on my plays I got the 2 chiniest guys in the division, Cummings versus Corey Anderson, 3 units. Do not go the distance. I got 4 units on Brett Johns, and I got what's my other play? Kevin Lee, 3 units inside the distance. What about you?
Yeah, man. Right now my only play is 4.2 units on Brett Johns at -140, and thinking about Kevin Lee too, man. It's a nice play. Or I might put more units on Brett Johns just because his line got hit. But I don't know. I already have enough on him. Wrist. So that's it so far.
All right, guys. We'll be back, and we have a 3-week break. So I mean, it's gonna be a while. We might do like a recap video. Probably we should. We'll do a recap video for this card where I went to City, and I hope everyone casts their bets. Later, guys.
Peace.